Hey everyone, what's up? This is Andrea with Girl Vamonos, and this video is to explain how to move across the country and what are the things you should know before you make that move. So, I personally think that one of the best things you can do if you want to move across the country or to a different state or to a different city is to get a remote job. So, I know this doesn't really apply to everyone, but if you have an office job or if you have, some kind of job that can be done remote, like you should definitely look into that and you should get yourself a remote job because one, that's going to be so much better when you move to a new place. You already have your job. Let's say you move to a city and then you are just like, yeah, this is okay. I don't really like it here. Or man, I really love moving. I really love trying new cities. Let's move somewhere else. So that's really going to prepare you to just be as flexible as possible. If I could recommend one thing is to get a remote job. So one of the questions that I see a lot in message boards is people asking, where do I find a remote job? Well, I found mine on LinkedIn. If you go on LinkedIn or if you go on any of these other job boards, if it's a tech company or if they're kind of a newer kind of startup or, I feel like there's so many companies that are open to remote work. Even if the job description itself doesn't say remote, still apply for it. And, once you start talking to the HR representative or you're having those initial conversations, definitely ask about that. Another thing that I think is super important when you are deciding that you want to move across the country is to minimize. I don't know if you guys have looked up U-Haul rental prices or moving prices, but it is through the roof. It is so expensive. Unless you have a bunch of furniture, it really doesn't make sense to haul your stuff, or unless your belongings are like worth a lot of money. Like let's say that it costs you $15,000 to move all of the belongings in your apartment to your next city. But then you're like, okay, my stuff isn't even worth $15,000. Like I got this IKEA couch for $300. I got this IKEA shelf for $40 or, whatever that is. Like these clothes, I don't really wear them anymore. Like if you can minimize as much as possible, like I think that is the best thing to do before you move. Just try to sell as much as you can and take as little as possible. And then when you move to the new city, try to keep it that way because it's really going to make life a lot easier, a lot more flexible. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go through that process again if you move again, Like after selling everything on Craigslist and Facebook groups, I purchased a trailer hitch. So you get like this little square that goes under your car and that helps you like pull a trailer. So I ended up doing that. And the cost of that I think was about $600 or $700. So you have to pay for the hitch and then you also have to pay for someone to put it on your car. And another thing is like I rented one of those like 6x8 trailers from U-Haul. And it's so crazy because when I went from California to Texas, I paid $600 to rent. I picked it up in California and then I dropped it off in Austin. And basically when I moved from Austin to Las Vegas, I actually paid $100 for that same trailer. I think I was going the opposite way, and because there's so much like supply in Texas, they probably wanted to get it back to the West Coast. So yeah, it was really cheap to get it back. So that was awesome. Even if you think to yourself like, man, I really love this city. The city is really cool. I want to move there. Great. So you should definitely research that city, but you should also make sure that you research other cities because I guarantee that you're going to learn so much more. And maybe when you start comparing other cities and you visit it, you might decide like, hey, I think I'd rather move here. You need to do your research before you move, what that means specifically. So what are the things that are important to you? And even if you don't think that they're necessarily important, you should still look up those data points. So I actually built a spreadsheet before making the move to Austin. I actually made a comparison of 20 different cities. And this was obviously a really tedious exercise, but it's definitely going to help you make the right decision. So in this exercise and research, I took 20 different cities and I put different factors like median home price, median rent, average income, unemployment rate, weather, murder rate, access to travel, closest cities to take a day trip to. Yeah, I put all kinds of data points that I thought was really important for the next city that I wanted to move to. I did pick Austin, and unfortunately, I don't think that was the right decision. Yes, I think what I did wrong is that it was great on paper, but I don't think that it had that feeling of home necessarily for me, because I might have overlooked some things. Like I might have went there and just said, it doesn't feel right, but it's the right decision because financially it makes the best sense. So that was how I was thinking before moving there, and I soon realized that there was other factors that were much more important to me that I might have overlooked, like being close to family and maybe like the culture of the city that you're living in, and do you fit in, or is it match your lifestyle? And I definitely think that I might have overlooked some of these things and said, hey, it's great on paper, but I ultimately decided to leave after a year and a half, and I'm now in Las Vegas, and I honestly feel like this is so much more better for me. After you do your research and you pick like your top 3 cities, you need to go visit them to get a feel of what they're like, and really try to stay as long as possible, if you're able to, because I think that you'll get a better sense of what the city is like. Will you fit in? Try to do some of the things. I think one of the things I did when I went to Austin is we really didn't like explore the city much, just kind of drove to the places that we wanted to live at and really didn't get to explore the city. And to be honest, I didn't see like a third city, and I kind of wish I would have. Another thing I would say is really understand the cost of living, break it out. So if you decide these are the top cities that I want to live at, understand like what kind of jobs are available to you there. Hopefully you can get yourself a remote job, so that really doesn't matter. But let's say you lose your remote job, what are your backup? Like, do you have a backup plan? To really understand the cost of living, I think that you're going to have to like put it in a spreadsheet and see all of the different expenses that you're going to have, rent, think about your income. Is your income going to change if you move to a different city and you get another job? Also include everything you can think of is like, your income taxes, is that going to affect your income? Property tax, if you buy a home. You really want to make sure that you're making the best financial decisions for yourself and for your future. But honestly, if you want to move across the country, if you want to try a different city, I highly recommend it, because I feel like so many people kind of get stuck in the same place. They're seeing the same people. It's like, get yourself out of your comfort zone, make new friends, explore the world. Don't limit yourself. Bitch, you can do it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave me a comment and I will try to respond, or go follow me at Girl Vamonos on Instagram. And I also have a website, girlvamonos.com, if you're interested in reading any blogs or travel stories. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye. It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. I'm just happy because it's Friday and I'm gonna meet up with some girls. So it's like, I have a life, like, o sea. Anyways, I don't know what I was saying. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it was just a little bit too far for me. Why do I look like this? Like, why do I look like I got Botox? I didn't. I will try to never get Botox, porque I want to be like a natural queen. let's see how that goes. Catch me like in 30 years. It's a blessing and a curse.